Hi everyone, I'm Priyanka Thakur. I worked in Knowledge Software Company as a software consultant.
And hi everyone, good evening. My name is Adi, and I work as software consultant in Noldes. Today we are going to tell you about GHipster, and we are going to tell about a simple introduction about GHipster. We are going to start with knowledge etiquettes, which are punctuality, feedback, silent mode, and avoid disturbance. Punctuality is like please be punctual on time. Just like as I'm glad that you all are here at 3:30. Thanks, and please give us good feedback and bad feedback if you like that there's something wrong or it can be improved. So then for our next knowledge, we would be very improved. Please keep your phone on silent mode and avoid disturbance so that we can be focused on our topic and everyone will learn something new about it. So starting from our agenda, today we are going to discuss about introduction to GHipster, GHipster registry, GHipster gateway, and how to deploy service using Docker. And then we are going to show you a quick demo of what we have just showed you. So starting by what is GHipster? GHipster is an open source application generator or UML generator. By term application generator, we consider that it generates an application, it creates an application to us, and it is an open source. So we can say that GHipster is a free application generator which creates an application for us for free. GHipster is an UML generator that allows you to develop and deploy a Spring Boot and Angular web application. GHipster also allows you to build a web application with a microservice backend. And GHipster's full form is Java Hipster. So that breaking down Java Hipster, we can say that Java is for the Spring Boot part and Hipster is for AngularJS part. So this is the total full form of GHipster. And now let's take something about GHipster tech stack. GHipster tech stacks we are the following major components: a Spring Boot, AngularJS, and Netflix OSS, and Yeoman, Maven, and all. JS on backend, we have Java 8 and Spring Boot to handle our backend. We have responsive frontend with AngularJS, and we use service discovery and deploy our service using Netflix OSS, ELK stack, and Docker. And our build workflow uses Yeoman, Webpack, and Maven, or we can use Gradle too for building our workflow with JHipster. So now let's come into JHipster ecosystem. JHipster ecosystem consists of two things: some modules and subgenerators. Some modules is the directory which handles all the technologies which is not provided by JHipster. Just like React, we can use it in some module folder so that we can have its functionalities, its features we can use in our application to make it more useful to us. Subgenerator is a generator which generates Spring Business Services. So we can write our business logics in there, and then we can also Dockerize our application there, so that we can easily access to our application because and everyone else can use it from Docker. It would be really fast for us to use. And now coming to database. There are following database supported by JHipster. For SQL type, there is H2 database, MySQL, MariaDB, Postgre, and Oracle. For NoSQL, it is MongoDB, Cassandra. The security JHipster providers are the following two types: Jot token or Auth2. The cache which is provided to us by JHipster is eCache and Hazelcast cache. And JHipster also provides us other optional technologies in it, like Elasticsearch, Spring Web Socket, Apache Kafka. And we all know that Elasticsearch is and Apache Kafka how to use and what to use it. So we can improve our application further. Service discovery is done by two types in the JSTEM. One by using console and other by using Eureka. Eureka also provides us using centralized. Eureka provides us service discovery, only service discovery, while console provides us service discovery, AV store, and centralized configuration also to us. And now we have testing frameworks like Gatling, Cucumber, Protector, and we can also test it in JUnit and Jest also. Now I would like my colleague Priyanka to take it from here.
So this is the one more thing that JHipster provide, that is traceable ID. So what is traceable ID? Traceable ID is a unique ID that JHipster add in the request header, so through which we can track the entire flow of our request. So what traceable ID is useful? Like for the debugging purpose, it is very beneficial. For example, we have a scenario where we send a request from to service A, then service A to send a final response to the end user, it calls service B, and then the service B calls service C. So to track down all the path of the request, traceable ID is very useful. So if any in between, if service B is down or C is down, through traceable ID, we have the idea why that particular request got failed. So JHipster provide traceable ID that is very beneficial through Zipkin library. So through Zipkin library, we can benefit the traceable ID. So we have a JHipster registry. So JHipster registry is a JHipster application which provide us the service discovery, central configuration, and administrative service. So what is Eureka? We all know that through JHipster registry, through Eureka, provide us the functionality of the service discovery. And Spring Cloud configuration is used to provide the central configuration. As we all know that in a microservice architecture, we have different microservices, and those microservices deployed on different environment. So this Spring Cloud configuration, what it do, it store all these microservice configuration at one place with respect to their environment. So we have every service, its environment specific configuration separately in one single place. So administrative service, what it provides a dashboard where we can monitor the logs and see the health check of our service. So it's a very useful application that is provided by JHipster. So we will also going to show you the use of the JHipster in our demo. So these are the applications that can be generated by JHipster. So there are JHipster Gateway, JHipster Microservices, and monolithic application. Service discovery. So service discovery, as I already explained, is provided by Eureka, Netflix. That is provided by Netflix. And so how service registry is implemented in JHipster? So whenever we are setting up our architecture, first we up our JHipster registry. So what is the work of the JHipster registry? It first register all the application, even the gateway. So if any service is need to be accessed by the outer service, is first need to be registered through the JHipster registry. If it does not get registered in the JHipster registry, then we won't be able to access those services. And JHipster registry also keeps the track of that if our instance of a service get down. So it also keeps that track, and it sends a particular heartbeat to each instance. If the response if the registry does not get the response in a specified time, then it will down that instance and restart the instance again. So it do all that stuff. Now JHipster Gateway. So JHipster Gateway is a web handles all the web traffic, and it provides our microservice the front end application as well. And it provides the HTTP routing, load balancing, and we can also see the quality of the services. And it also has the documented all the API documentations. So which all the API our system has, we can see its documentation over there. So this is a diagram that explains how the gateway, JSP registry, and microservice interact with each other. So first, our request is sent by the browser to the gateway. Then gateway send that request to the registry. Then registry find that where that request has to be routed, as all the registry register themselves to the registry through their application name, even if they have a multiple instances. So they're all going to register with their application name. So then registry see the URL, find which microservice it has to route to, send that information to the gateway, then gateway redirect that information to the microservice. Then microservice process that request and give the response back to the gateway. Then finally gateway give the response to the browser. So this is how the registry, gateway, and our microservice interact with each other. So this is the diagram which shows the microservice architecture if we make through the JSP. So in the first line, you can see the Netflix OS, Spring Boot, and Docker. So Netflix OS is used for the service discovery part and for all the if a service is down and health of the service is checked through Netflix OS. And the Spring Boot is through which we develop our application. And now through Docker, we can deploy our application. So in this diagram, we can see the green boxes and some purple boxes. So the green boxes represent those part of the structure where we have to write our business logic. So as you can see, the microservice we can generate through JSP, but in the application generated by JSP, we can add our business logic to the microservice. And same here, the AngularJS app, here we can add the all the logic related to the front end, how the front end look and feel would be, can be handled and written in the AngularJS app. And then Git repo, it represents how our registry going to act. So for the starting, JSP also provide us the JSP registry sample, which we will be going to use in our demo. Now we can see the JSP console. So JSP console, what it do, it maintains the logging of our service. So if we hit our application and all the logs that is being generated is being monitored and can be seen through JSP console. So these are the application, Elastic, Logstash, and Kibana is used for doing that stuff. So we can deploy our application through Docker. So very important thing, like Adi has already mentioned about the JSP codes generator. So what the code generator do is that it write all the Polar code that we needed to handle, to have to generate or deploy everything over the cloud or over even in the Docker container. So what the JSP Docker generator do, it create a Docker Compose file, which it knows what application need to be started first in the correct order. So it's a very intelligent tool. So like as I already mentioned that every application that has been used in our architecture should be registered first by the JSP registry. So Docker Compose file that the sub generator generate, it's written is like that first the JSTOR registry gets started, and then the rest of the application which need to be started, they started in that order. So next. So these are the steps that we can use Docker Compose to deploy our application through Docker Compose. So it's a very simple step. We don't have to do anything much. So through now here I just explaining the step. In the demo I'm going to show you that. So we just need to make a repository Docker Compose, and then in the Docker Compose directory we go back go to that Docker Compose repository, and then just type the JSTOR Docker Compose. So this command, what it do, that I have already explained, that it will generate a Docker Compose file, and in that Compose file, it have all the information how the application gets started. And like we have a JSTOR generator which generate our JSTOR application. So that JSTOR application, what it do, it create a Spring application. So it asks about the type of the application it going to generate, like whether it is a gateway or whether it is a monolithic architecture or a Spring application or it is a microservice. And choosing that option, we can decide what are the things it needed, what type of database it required, and what type of extra third party and other technology if needed for testing, like Adi already mentioned. So everything is done by just the CLI, and we get the final code generated everything. So in the demo, Adi will going to show you this JSTOR code sub generator, how it generated, and explain it. So now, next.
Adi and Priyanka, you are on mute. We are not able to hear anything.
Okay, sorry. So here first we have created some folders here, directories like JSTOR Gateway, JSTOR Microservices, central config. Central config is necessary to access to make a gateway do its thing and being created. So in JSTOR Gateway, first we have to go through it like this, and we are just going to type JSTOR here. And now here we are having following options, that which type of application we want to have: monolithic application, microservice application, microservice gateway, JSTOR UA server, reactive monolithic, and reactive microservice. So now we are going to have a gateway because it is necessary. So we are going to click here, and just he is asking for me for its the name. I'm going to give it a JSTOR gateway. It is simple, and it will ask me for the port which I want to use. I would like to use H08, and the name which I want to give com.molder is good for me. And the server which we want to use, like we have the following options: Eureka and console. So we are going to use Eureka here, which is this. And we now have the type of authentication which we are likely to use, either JOT token or OAuth. So I'm going to use JOT. Now we are going to have a selection between database. What type of database do we want, SQL or non-SQL? So I am pretty much familiar with SQL, so I'm going to use SQL. In here, it is for production, and it is for production. So I'm going to use PostgreSQL here. And now for development, I'm going to S2 disk persistence. The difference is that for in production, we are going to use the database, which is which can be implemented using Docker. So it can be kind of asynchronous and is handled everywhere easily. And for development, I'm going to use it on my local command prompt or terminal. So I am going to go with the S2 with the disk-based persistence. It will store the data in my hardware, in my system itself. So now about the cache thing, we are going to have what kind of cache do we want, eCache and or Hazel Cafe. So I'm going to use the EH-cache, and like we used to go to second level of Hibernate. I would like to say no. The backend we are going to use Maven Grader. Grader I don't know much, so going to go with Maven. And it also shows the other options we could have using Elasticsearch, WebSockets, and Apache Kafka. So I would like that what we have is enough for now. And for the client purpose, what do we want to use, Angular or React, or if we have no client either? So I'm going to use Angular here. It will show us now the boot swatch theme. What themes are we going to use? There are following themes, and we will use default. Would you like to enable internationalization support? For now, no. Do you like to use any other testing framework besides JUnit and Jest? So we have Gatling Humana Protector, but I think JUnit is good for me, so I'm just skipping it. And if we can have other generators from marketplace, then I think I have enough for now. And this will create a gateway for me. So now, till it is running, I should create a microservice here. I'm going in the and here I'm going to create a microservice. I will just add JSON here simply, like I've done in the gateway. But in this option, I'm going to use microservice application. I can choose monolithic application or microservice or any other thing. But I would appreciate microservice because it is very good for use. It requires a name. I would like to give it a student info. A student, the port which we're going to run it. The previous was 8088, so I'm going to name it 8089. And what will be my default package name? com.molder. And service discovery we want to use JSR registry, JOT token for authentication, and Postgre database for production, and S2 with disk persistence for development. Now we are going to use the cache. I'm going to use Hazelcast cache here. I'm going to say no for hibernation level. Using backend, using Maven for backend. Elasticsearch, no support extra. no other framework, no other marketplace. Now it will create a service for me. Still it is still creating, and this is also start creating soon enough. So before we start everything, we have to first make sure that we have an application.yaml file in central config. This file requires to start gateway and make it work for us. So where we can find this application.yaml file, the link is in the presentation already. So we are going to this link, and then we are coming here, and we are going to clone it. We are going to clone while I download it. So I can download it as zip. I'm opening this. Now I have this application.yaml. I would just extract it from here and will paste it in central config file, because JSA gateway directly go to the central config to have access to this. So we are going to paste application.yaml file here, and since we have pasted it here, now we can start our gateway. To start the gateway, we have to simply use command mvnw. It will start my service. It will start my gateway. And now coming back to service. To start service, we have to configure a jar. We have to download a jar, this jar, and which we are going to download from here, this link. It is also provided in the presentation. You can get the link from there. So from here, I can get access to this jar. This is the latest jar which I'm not supposed to download. So I'm going to go through previous one and this one, which I have downloaded, already. So I'm going to show you how it is working. So now we are going to go to this command. This command is going to use the version which we are using of JSA registry. We are using 6.1.2, and it will start a registry for us, so that we can connect gateway and registry to the service. By using this command, I can start JSA a registry. It will start soon enough, and you see this is gateway is working. Is starting, and to start microservice, we have to just up a registry first. So when it will be up, we are going to use the same command /mvnw true, and we can see it using yarn start. As we know that yarn is an package manager. We can use others code through it to our system. Okay. So it will start. It will provide us a. It will provide us a GUI, which we are going to use, and see if JSA registry is up. So now we can start microservice here. and it is still going to up. It is not started yet, our gateway. So this is how we are going to start our Jester application, and we can show this like this way. Now I am going to hand over this to Priyanka to take it from here. The services are just starting. It would take some time, so I would like Priyanka to take over from here and show if she have already configured it.
So let me share my screen.
Actually, it takes a lot of time, so it sometimes hangs my system. It's nothing. Just a minute.
So are you able to see my browser?
Yes, Priyanka.
Wait a minute. Sorry about it. It's getting getting a little walking. When it get up, I will show you everything. So this is my registry. So as Adi have shown you how I up the registry through the command that has been downloaded through the JPC registry releases. And here I'm logging as in default user admin. So this will show me all the logs, configuration, and all the service health check. So as I'm logged in as an admin user, so that user is a admin as well as a user. So here we can see the configuration. So now I just see the JPStore configuration. I think my other services has not yet been registered. So, okay, now net type. So let me start my service again for the gateway so that we can have our browser started. So,
Priyanka, have you stopped the presentation?
sorry, what?
Presentation is not visible.
No, I haven't added the screenshot, but it will not take time now.
I can represent from the Google Meets.
Sorry, I'm not able to understand you. Can you repeat? Your audio is very feeble. So you're not able to see my screen?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, let me share it again. Are you able to see it now?
Yeah.
So look like my front ends are not working. So that's a problem of it, raising everything up individually. So what I do, I will do that, show you that gateway registry up and the JSTOR registry through Docker. So I think there is some problem with the yarn for getting started. So I will show you through Docker. So I have already created a container with all the images of the services that I want, the hotel images and the room service images. So hotel is here my gateway and the room service is my microservice application. Now I'm running that in a Docker Compose. So it uses the default registry. So we can use when we run the command Docker Compose up, so it will up all the three things: JSTOR registry, hotel service, hotel gateway, and the room service. So we from here we can see that what all the images that are started. So here we can see Logstash, console, Zipkins, JSTOR registry and room service and the Postgres as we are using for our database, and Elasticsearch and the Thakur Hotel as a gateway. So we can see that all the images are up, and we just confirm it through. Okay, now we can see that status is up. We can open localhost 8080. Let me check. I think some of the okay, here we can see that JSTOR dashboard get stopped, so we can restart it again. So that's why we are not able to log into that. Now we can again see. Now we can see everything is up now. We will be able to log into it. So here you can see the front end of the gateway. Now I will log in as an admin. So the previous tip that Adi have shown you, through that also we will get the same front end look and the same functionality. The only thing that here we are getting a difference is that all we know the advantage of Docker. I just need to up the single command and everything is get up in that container. So we have a gateway and the room service both executed together. We don't have to individually up the service. So here we can see the gateway that the room service is available on this port and ID, and user management. These are the default user that our gateway has. And here there are profiles as role, user, and admin. Admin role has all the right to see everything. Then here is the metrics of the services. So the garbage collection, HTTP request, and endpoints. Now health of the services can also be seen. And if I okay, so now here we can see the configuration of the microservices. Then here is the audit option. So everything are available. So here we can see the logs at different level. We can set to it to different level as well. So if we want to debug issue, then we can use the debug, and we can move that to info level as well. So here we have an API documentation, as I already mentioned about it. So these are the API documentation of the gateway, that the account resources, gateway resources, and user JWT, and the user resources that has been provided through the gateway. Now we can choose the room service as well. So here the room service have only one entity, that is rooms. So that room has a price and the room number. So we can get and post everything in this room service API. So we have the following endpoints, that is get rooms, post rooms, put rooms, and delete rooms, and even get a single room information from the database. So, and I will show you how to so this is my registry. So in this registry, you can also see the metrics of all the services for the room service services, and for the Thakur Hotel gateway, and everything you can see here. Logs, how the application gets started, and everything is in a single place, and everything is generated by JFSTED. You don't have to do anything. And room service. So let me check on which port I am running room service. So I can show you one more thing. $8097. So So here you can see this is telling us your request cannot be proceeded because as we have provided that it should be secured route. So through JWT, we can access it. So I will show you through that. I will open my Postman. We will copy the call. Here we can see that we didn't get any information because we haven't posted anything. So first we will post it. So price is our integer value and room number is in string value. So we will try it out. Now we have a call request for it, and if we post it, then we get a response saying that for the following information we have created a room. Now we can easily get that room. So this will get all our rooms. So you can see now we haven't added a unique validation on the room number. That's why two values are added for the same room number. So I've already using the same image for showing you the demo. That's why it has already have one value in it. So that's all from the this Docker Compose. Now I will show you how we can create the this container in the using the Docker. So let's do that. First, I stop this container. CD. So it already had a directory which has a gateway. So I just going to use this one. So in this directory, I'm going to make a folder Docker Compose. Sorry. Now we are in Docker Compose directory. Then just we have to write the jhipster command. Docker Compose. So it's a jhipster Docker Compose subdirectory that I have explained you previously. So it's going to ask which type of application I need to deploy. So I need to deploy microservice application. So I selected that, and as we need the registry to deploy a application, so I will be using the Netflix Zool. And it will ask me that in which directory I have to select the microservice which need to be deployed. So in the previous directory, we have the try gateway microservice. So we will be just using the same option that is giving us, as this represent the previous directory. Let me start it again. Maybe internet. Finally. So we have only one microservice, that is try gateway. So we're going to select that. And now it is asking that do you want to step up monitoring and your other applications? So we're going to use the yes. And it will going to ask that whether we need the tracking of the application and the tracer ID that has I already mentioned. So we will be using that thing. And now it is asking that we have to build the image of our microservice application. So going to that container that I contain the microservice like this, we will go here and we will we will run this command that will generate our image. So through that, we create a Docker Compose file. So I will show you what all things that it generates. So the one that I have already shown you through my example. So here we can see the Docker Compose YAML file that has been automatically generated by the jhipster Docker Compose command. So here we can see that the first thing that hit up is Thakur Hotel, that which was our gateway, and it has all the environment in it, and it shows on which port it is working. They have to route to the external world, and here we can see the database it is using, the Postgres username and password, and it also shows the room service app. That is our second microservice that has been get up in the microservice application. So these are the environment variables and the same that Postgres it used, and all the JSTOR registry and its extension file. It contains all the related information to particular these applications. So all these images is being used in the Docker Compose. So here we can see the JSTOR console and JSTOR registry YAML. So here we see that it is using the central config configuration. And this is my gateway application. Here we can see that the source, this source represent all our code related to Java application. Here we have all the microservice related code, and our front end code is in web app. Here we have all our front end related code, and in this is a very important file, your RC-JSON file. This is the file by which our entire application is generated. Here you can see what are the choices that we have chosen in the application are listed here, like application type is gateway, base name this, and the package name this, and JW token. It is a default token that has been provided to us, and here we have the database SQL dev database type is the H2 disk. So everything is here, and the second is the room service application. That is our microservice. So we can see that it has no web app, as it is only contained the backend code, no front end code. So here we have, and you can see here in our Docker folder, the Docker Compose file that has been generated had the similar configuration that has been mentioned here.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but you have 4 minutes left for this session.
Sure. Yeah. So here we have the JSTOR registry configuration, and as in the configuration file, I have shown you that this is our JSTOR registry file. So the Docker Compose file pick those information from here, from our service. So every binding has been generated through JSTOR interconnected. So Docker Compose, these are picks configuration file from here and create a Docker Compose file, and that Docker Compose file can be used for deployment. So that's a small demo from our side. If you guys have any question.
Thanks, Priyanka, Adi.